because there's nothing on our end.
And,
So
all right, hold on, all right. Cool.
Number X?
Yeah, we might as well get started. I got 6:01 on the clock, so we'll call this meeting to order for our public session here on October 11th, Mascoma Valley Regional School Board. Hello, everybody. We'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Oh, hello, well, good you're here. Cool. All right. All right. Give you a minute to get settled in. First up, we have our approval of minutes, public and non-public, from the 27th of September.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the public and non-public on September 27th.
I'll second it.
And Bruce, second, thank you. All right, any comments, questions, concerns, edits, etc.?
I didn't see anything.
No, it was very straightforward. Yeah, no, I didn't see anything that jumped at me. Anyone else? All right. Seeing no other edits or corrections, all those in favor of approving the minutes of September 27th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed and abstentions. And that was public and non-public. Okay. All right, public comment. Hi,
Good evening.
how you doing?
Doing good.
All right, any comment?
Beautiful day.
Sure. All right. Okay. All right, continuing business. Well, our student representative is unfortunately not here tonight. I know she's very busy. She's in a lot of clubs and such. I saw her yesterday picking up track on the rail trail with the other Interact Club members, so hopefully we'll get her back in here next time. We'll find out more. Wellness Committee report.
Oh, it looks like it's probably me.
Aww.
Look at that, Danielle's out, it's probably me.
Yeah.
So we did select a chair, we went with co-chairs, so Rick Simula and Bernadette Virgin will be the co-chairs there. We tabled JLCF, which is the wellness policy, because that is due for a revamp. So at some point, the board will see that as the first reading.
Okay.
We do have an update on the food pantry. We had to do some changing of staff here for it. They have some change in staff at Friends of Mascoma. So we are working to make sure it's smooth out communications. For some reason, the New Hampshire Food Bank is delivering things here, but Friends of Mascoma apologized profusely for that. So not their fault. But we do appreciate that.
You mean like all the stuff for their pantry?
Like all the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
all the stuff. So that was pretty exciting.
right. Yeah.
So you can just see there, and it is list John Martin as the new person that will be heading it up here from the high school.
Oh.
There were quite a few people absent, so we didn't really have a food service update, nor did we have a needs survey update. We'll be looking at pulling in some more community members and partners to take part in those. We do also need a little more input or attendance, if you will, by people here at school. So we'll be looking to make sure that those are happening. We talked about some composting at the high school and at the middle school, so looking at a composting program. Rick Simula is very into composting, he said, so he's going to work with them. I know there's a pretty robust composting program at EVS in partnership, I believe, with Open Woods. And CES, we have a great partnership with D Acres, so I'm not sure if that partnership is still going strong. But Rick was going to touch base with both D Acres and Open Woods and see if they would do something. It's basically, we don't compost on site. What we would do is collect the food scraps, and then D Acres swaps us. They take the food scraps, compost it, and swap us with the good stuff in spring.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because then they take it away.
They take it away.
I know EVS has a composter because I put it together with them
Oh,
for work, and they got that through a USDA grant. So
Yep.
there are USDA grants to buy those big
the big one.
composters.
Yeah, so we're a little at that. the nice thing is you can really sustain the program if you partner with one of those farms,
Yeah.
because they're really into making sure they take it and they'll bring us back some compost and help in our gardens. So that really makes it a sustainable program. Because like we had, when Ian Henry was at Canaan Elementary, he did a great job with the chicken tractor and brought all kinds of great things to the garden, and then we lost Ian. So that's okay. So Hillary gave us an update from All Together. They're looking at helping us with some guest speakers about the vaping, issues at every school, and so we might be putting on a presentation for parents here, and some other work there. And we will have some flu shots are available at the schools for kids. Friday we have a staff vaccine. Another update since this meeting happened is that I do have word from Alice Ely that there will be potential for COVID vaccines clinics here, but not until December.
Okay.
So a little bit far out. And that was not all we had.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
So Hillary mentions that they purchased the Narcan. I thought we already had that existing in the schools.
We do?
Yeah, this
These-
building
these-
should have Narcan,
Yeah,
sure.
these are the Nalox boxes, so they're a little more secure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and not
So
for
they're specific for having Narcan. I haven't looked into them yet, but I'm very interested in those because I believe that would be better and
Yeah.
more accessible than what we currently have.
Yeah, because right now it's you have to know where it is to get it,
Right.
and hope that someone's here in the building that knows where it is to get
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Okay, so
And
that's,
we left it under the guidance of the nurse.
Right,
So
right.
So these Nalox boxes, I think, are going to be a much better option.
good deal. Good deal.
I'm curious about the health needs survey results. That's been delayed, hasn't it been?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, so what year data are they really looking at? Do you know?
So you're talking about, I think you're talking about something different, Hope.
Oh, am I?
It's escaping me right now. It's called the
Oh, the youth risk.
Not
youth
youth
risk.
risk.
Yeah,
That's not
yes,
youth, is that
yes.
youth risk?
This is different.
No.
This
Yeah,
is different, okay.
But this has been delayed quite a bit too.
Is this our internal?
This is sort of an internal.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But that youth risk survey thing.
Yeah, YRBS, there it is.
Was
Yep.
kind of for a long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I believe Hillary will probably be the person who's had a lot of turnover and the people that we work with, but I think Hillary is probably the person that will help us with the results, and we'll do another presentation here to the board when we receive those.
Any other questions on that? I just had a quick question on community participation. Have we been able to reach out to anyone at the community health center, Mascoma Health Center? I don't know if that would be a good partner.
Dr. Gardner there has been gracious enough to take over as our physician,
Oh,
our
okay.
district physician, which
Oh.
was lovely.
Nice.
So he has taken that over. I'm not sure though that he wants to be involved with the meetings.
Yeah, no, I just meant someone from the health center in
Yeah,
general.
I'm not sure if we reached out to them before or not.
I know
I'd have
they're
to look at the
stretched
email list.
pretty thin, so, as all our health providers are. All right. Okay. All right, then there's that superintendent's report.
So you do have my written report in your packet. And I do start with the rough week last week that was busing. Especially traumatic or troublesome for our Canaan Elementary kids, because there were multiple mornings that we sent out notifications that the bus was going to run, the route would run an hour and a half late because of a shortage of drivers. Not acceptable. I've spoken with Butler. They've done nothing but apologize. Friday was a really hard day. It was 6:45 before they realized that they didn't have a driver on the route. So it was 6:45, putting a lot of our parents in quite some hardship. So I did put out an email to parents. I spoke with the manager, Steve Landon. I said, Steve, my people are getting beat up for no reason. This is not, Tammy Daly should not be called insults and slurs that she has to look up on the internet to know what they mean. And that's what's happening to the people in Canaan. So in here, I do ask that if the parents, and in the letter I put out, if the parents have a real issue, they need to contact Butler's bus and scream at Steve. He is more than happy to take that. They don't want to scream at Steve, they can call and scream at me, but I do ask that the public understand that Tammy is just putting things out as notice, as is Leah. They are not responsible for the late call-ins or sickness of drivers. So I do appreciate the public there. We're looking like this coming week is probably going to have 2 mornings that we can't fill. I attempt as soon as I know what the shortages are to get door-to-door, which is a contracted service, or a contracted service that we use for our special ed kids. They do a lot of transporting for us. They have 2 13-person vans. So as soon as I know that there's a shortage, I try to see if they're available. If I can give them a day notice, usually they are available. But I'm not sure on those 2 morning runs. Morning runs are hard, right? Like that's really hard to start your day at 5:30. So they're working on filling those 2, but as of right now, Butler's is going to short C6 again for Thursday and Friday this week. So
So
it's
the
ugly.
door to door, is that a local company?
Door to door is based right on the Miracle Mile, right before the Harley.
Oh, yeah,
dealership.
I know, yeah, right by the karate studio, the
Yep.
Harley dealer, yep, I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
right
about.
there.
Okay.
So, I've asked before, and I'm assuming that we do get financial compensation for the deficits that
That is
Butler
correct.
has.
They do have to cover the cost.
Yeah, enough to cover the usage for door to door, right?
I did have the contract reviewed by legal last week when it was time, and I tried to assess an emergency penalty, and legal said that would not fly. But we do get a cost for a misroute, plus we are able to get the charge covered. So it is more money because door to door does charge us for a minimum number of hours. And we, that is over the 2 hours that, it would take to run the bus. So there will be some extra bills heading towards Butler's.
Yeah, I think it's justifiable. I would,
Butler should not disagree with it one bit.
Nope,
right.
nope.
And I wonder if this fine is enough, that.
It's
In
about
the
all that I have. I mean, I've talked to Steve, it's about all that I have. And we'll be talking about this more as we head into the spring
Right.
and whether or not you all would like us to go out to bid.
Well, I know that each bus, I think, costs $47,000 a year or something, so.
A lot of money between them.
And if they're not on the road, and they're not getting fined a proportionate amount to what that bus costs us. then-
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we get.
So I'd say we'd have to at least relook at that part of it.
We get refunded an amount for each route, so right now we have, a doubled up route. I have 2 other buses that don't run, and I have a special ed run that doesn't run. So those are automatically for buses that
Every
we
day.
should be refunded for
Right.
Yeah,
It
already.
needs to be painful enough for them in
consistently.
terms of their cost assessment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is we're not the only district in this crunch.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's a hardship on our parents. Like on Friday, we had half day and kids were an hour and a half late for school and then left at 12:45. That's a short day if you even send your kids. So we're looking at what that will be. I'm told that on Monday the 17th, we have another driver starting. So that should be helpful. And then after that, potentially in the next, like in the middle of November, we have 2 more drivers coming on board
All right.
specifically for us.
All right.
So we can only hope.
Before the snow flies.
We can only hope.
And, I mean, now that that they're figuring Thursday and Friday will probably not be covered for Canada, I presume you're doing like preemptive
I'm waiting to
communication.
hear,
and-
I'm waiting to hear back from door to door, because if we can run,
Right.
we can run that entire route with 2 vans.
Oh, wow.
So, that we fit all the kids on there. So we're hoping that, door to door will be able to do that, but if
Certainly.
not, we'll put it out by tomorrow afternoon.
Certainly gives us something to think about for future.
Tomorrow's already Wednesday.
If two vans can cover that whole route, then
Yeah.
gives us something to think about.
You'll also see in my report that I have had some parents concerned about COVID-19, especially here at the high school. So I've asked all the principals to put out masks because it's not, I can't make sick kids put on a mask. But if you're feeling healthy and you want to protect yourself, please put on a mask, right? It's also one of those, right? I can't, there's only limitations to so much. I can't walk around all day and look for sick kids and mask them up. Teachers are doing the best that they can, but at this point, we do need to think about, these people who are pretty concerned about it, understanding that put on a mask to protect yourself might be the best way.
Good mask, and
Yeah.
N95, and teacher, if there's a kid just sitting there hacking up a lung in class, they can send them to the nurse.
Oh, absolutely, they send them to the nurse and then she sends them home.
Yeah.
Because as I explained to one parent, you shouldn't have come to school if you were sick before COVID.
Yeah, it's the same.
But-
The illness you're sick with,
Yeah, you don't know how many times though you'd be in the front office of school and have a kid come in just fresh off the bus and say, my stomach really hurts. I threw up this morning, but my mom said go to school anyway.
I threw up out the bus window, but
Yeah, no, before they got on the bus, but
And then on the bus,
Mom said try it at school, I'd probably feel better. So, that's what we had done. And it's hard, because sometimes they do feel better.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
It doesn't feel better when you start.
I will say as far as Butlers goes, they are offering a sign-on bonus, and so we'll have that information put up on the community portion of the website as soon as I get it out. But I believe there's a sign-on bonus for drivers of $2,500. So that's not a terrible thing if you know anyone that wants to
Can
drive a
we
bus.
share that with the town newsletter, for the towns?
Sure.
To put on their
Yeah.
newsletters or their websites or whatever
Sure.
form that they have for communications? 'Cause
Anything,
Shows we're trying.
anything helps. Even if people wanted to run just charter trips for us, we have plenty of sporting events and field trips that we could use drivers for too. And then lastly, you have attached somewhere here, right the next page, a list of field trips that the high school would like approved. These are in addition to the ones that you have already approved.
Where's that?
It looks like they're just taking the soccer team to go watch some games at Colby Sawyer.
Yes.
Oh,
And Cynthia's taking some juniors to Lakes Region Community College.
Yep.
Cool. And Eric Ramage going to Cardigan Mountain, whatever guidance group is.
Yeah, he's gonna hike Cardigan.
Oh, I was reading it's Cardigan Mountain School. It's actual Cardigan
No,
Mountain.
he's gonna
Okay, good.
actually hike it.
Oh, good. Very good.
And what is guidance group?
I would assume that much like at the elementary school, when we have certain kids that the guidance counselor puts into a group, some type of support group, it might be a transgender group, it may be a divorced parents group, or, something like that. So whatever group he's put together there.
Kids that could use a hike up a mountain.
Kids that want to hike them out,
Hey,
run them.
it's a nice mountain. All right, I'll take a motion for that, if anyone so
You're
inclined.
gonna go to new business, you're gonna do it now?
We can do it right now. Is it in new business?
I don't know.
It is not.
All right, we can do it
It's
right
not
now.
added in time.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the presentation for field trips as presented.
Okay. And who said that, Hope? Or
Candace.
Candace. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, any discussion on that? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of the approval of additional field trips signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstains. Okay, that's all set. Anything else, Amanda?
That is all I have.
All right, any questions for Amanda on that stuff? COVID, buses, anything else?
You should put the bus bid out again. Should put that out.
Yep.
We need to put that out again.
That would be in the early spring, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we need to get that on the agenda and go.
So yeah, maybe if we have a time at some point in the next couple meetings to just kind of be able to write down things that we want to make sure we get in this bus contract, because I know we've kicked around a lot of ideas, we've gotten a lot of feedback, shall we say? So yeah, maybe we can put it on a future agenda, maybe not necessarily next, but maybe we have like a light agenda, just take 15, 20 minutes and just say what do we want on a bus contract. That could be later on in the winter. All right. Business administrator's report. Hello, Rob.
Hello, good evening, everyone. You have a bid worksheet for propane. I went out and rebid because we only had one bid last time and we tabled it. So Irving finally came through and they're much cheaper. So then my recommendation is go with Irving as the same that we did last year as well.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to do that.
We have that later on there, so
Okay.
on the agenda, so we'll do that
We'll do
then.
that later on. Also, I didn't put it in the agenda, but I had a request for some fundraising for portable lights for the athletic fields. There's a letter from Coach John Daly, supported by some of the other high school staff, for quite a bit of money, almost $200,000 for portable LED sports lights. So obviously, that might be a little difficult to put in the budget, so if we can do some fundraising from community businesses and organizations, that'd be something useful. We could extend our playing season. You could have some night games. I think it'd be good for the community. I did refer to the school board policy. So I didn't think it had to be public notice at this point. It's only when the donations actually start coming in. So
Yeah, when large donations start coming in. Yeah, our policy on fundraising is really to make sure that not everybody is asking the whole community for fundraising requests at once. But
Exactly.
large things that we
Right.
don't know about in our name. So.
Yeah, so if you want to discuss that request any further?
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm just reading this letter here from Coach Daly, and while I really like his idea of them being battery powered and recharging. I love that because having like the diesel powered units to just sit there and that's awful. This is great. Who would own these? I guess is my first question.
As far as I know, they want us to own them.
Okay.
I mean, there has been some discussion about putting these into the budget, which
Mhm.
I am not in favor of.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see in the budget if they wanted to do a couple of, say, night games or something like that, that we did something. We were recently at Winnisquam. Winnisquam did a beautiful homecoming. Their Friday night was under the lights boys soccer game. Beautiful. It was very nice. And then they had their bonfire after, and they had rentals from MV Tractor. And I think they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. That sound about right, Rooster?
They do, yeah.
So,
So they do a rental for the game.
they did a rental.
Okay.
I would say I don't even know if it went for the entire weekend or it was just the one night. I don't know what they looked like on Saturday.
Well, generally, some of these schools, they rent them out for the weekend to, like Newfound's done it, and they do it so that they can utilize the football, the soccer, and field hockey.
Oh, so they can use them for like a whole weekend?
Whole weekend, yeah.
I see.
They can bring them in and set them up and pull them out of there. I mean, this is, we're going discussion on how much money this is. This is something that we've discussed in past board meetings years ago, that it makes it's good to try to do this, but it also, you have to be careful of not doing it all the games because you got all these other problems. You might be like, well, they played Franklin the other day. So years ago, we had trouble with Franklin, and they wanted to do that temporary light thing. So that didn't work out too well because they didn't want to do that because you got to get into all the logistics of having a night game.
Yeah.
That means somebody take care of parking.
Yep.
You need somebody in the security for police. All this, there's a lot more to it. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, I know the Booster Club want to do that, but in the question I would say is, if they want to do this, they can try doing this, but I would like to see, it's too late in the year to do it now, but I'd like to see them doing it on a temporary,
Like
rent them out.
try
Rent 'em
for a
out.
weekend?
Rent them out. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have done it, the biggest thing I heard, the biggest drawback I heard is it's hard on homecoming, but if you did homecoming and you had it all spread out, you could play on Friday night, you could play on Saturday night, and you can have it all spread out so that you don't have, 1,000 cars here and everybody's jammed in, so they all want to watch, one game, watch this game.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to choose. Yeah.
I mean, they can, if everybody decides they want to go ahead and try to do fundraising, but I think they should look into, because that outfit will bring them in and set them up and rent them,
Yeah.
and I know Winnisquam moved, you went over the Winnisquam game, so Winnisquam moved their field from where the police station is now in Winnisquam. It's brand new, next to the mall.
Okay.
That's where the police station is. That's where they play football.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why they didn't play football and soccer on the football field was the lady donated the field for a certain time period until, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, whatever it was, had to be, and then they could play football and soccer. And so I mean, she made money to put that turf field.
All right.
So it was the turf field, right?
All right.
I don't feel like it was.
Well, maybe
Wrong.
it looks like a turf field.
It's
That's like-
beautiful.
It's gorgeous, 'cause they got a track around
Yes.
the thing too. So, you know, that's,
And that might be
So-
something we think about as we start to look like there is a need in this community for a track.
right.
So it may be that's the lights become part of it. I will tell you that if you wanted to rent lights, a tower is $160 for a day or $310 for a week. So it's quite less of a cost
Yeah.
than this cost here.
But what's included with that contract? Are they gonna take care of the maintenance
Oh,
and
they-
like moving them and
Well,
everything?
they come in,
All
in.
they come in, set it all up for you, and they
I
come
like
back and
that
they take
part
it
of
out.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they
The
don't,
equipment to move them,
Yeah.
whatever.
they
And
move-
we
they
wouldn't
take
have
care
to
of it
worry
all.
about a specific person being responsible, that's Mascoma responsibility.
No.
I like the idea of having
No.
contracted.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
I mean-
they've done it in the past, certain places do it during football season, you actually, if you go on Channel 9 tomorrow night, Friday night, and see
Yeah, Friday Night Lights.
where they're playing Friday night football.
Yep.
Some of them are playing with temporary lights, some have
Yes,
regular
I've
lights.
seen that, yeah.
So six towers can illuminate a full-size field.
Yeah,
More than.
That's really good.
I mean, I don't know how you get away without
Yeah.
6, but it was bright.
The biggest thing that we noticed at homecoming was how dark it was at night and how little illumination there was on the fields. And that was a concern, and for parents and for
it
students.
starts at football game starts at 3 o'clock?
No, I'm talking about the night before, the Friday night before,
Yeah.
how dark it was, just because they had the bonfire,
Yeah.
but like leading up to that, they had pep rally and
Yeah.
stuff, and it was just pitch black, so.
No, they can bring in with temporary lights.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on this?
I think that sounds reasonable. Are we still paying for the signs too, the leasing?
What
Didn't we
signs?
do that a couple of years ago, the football signs?
Football
Oh, the
signs?
scoreboard?
Scoreboard.
The scoreboard, and I believe this is the final year for lease.
So the lease would be done this year?
And it's
Yeah.
lease to own, so we own it.
So we will
Yeah.
own them,
Right.
and that's been such a positive thing.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna be looking at, we don't have a soccer or baseball or softball. So we might be looking at what it would take to get some scoreboards there, because it is unfortunate that when you're watching one of our, you have to be like, hey, what inning is this?
Yeah, right.
What's the score?
Yeah,
What's the
that's-
score?
What's the score?
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Basketball scoreboard's the same thing.
Nice, very nice.
It'll be all paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a 5-year lease, wasn't it?
3, I believe.
Yeah,
Great.
so the funds that we're paying for that right now could cover, 2 or 3 weekends worth of lights, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So you'd be smart to, if you wanted to do this, is to do it have them rent it out for the weekend and have them set up for a Friday night.
Right.
Yeah,
Friday night, and then you could get 2 games in on Friday night, or you can actually get 2 in on Friday and get 2 in on Saturday, because,
yeah,
because it's
We
starting
usually
late.
do
What?
Thursday night, Friday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
we could
They
lead up
take
to
care of-
homecoming or whatever.
They take
Real
care
hockey
of it.
girls, soccer.
I know Franklin, Winnisquam, Newfound, I've used them, and I don't.
I wonder, is that what Fall Mountain uses too?
What's that?
Does
Tell you
Fall-
Friday.
Lights? Does Fall Mountain use lights too?
I don't know. I haven't been
Danielle
down
was
there.
saying the soccer game was gonna be at Fall Mountain under
Oh.
lights.
Friday, we go under the lights at Fall Mountain, so I will be able to let you know.
All right.
I think that's temporary, 'cause I've been down there,
Yeah.
I'll probably baseball, there's no
Yeah,
lights down
I've been
there.
down there.
Yeah, you're right, Brewster.
No,
Right.
no, there's no lights down
Oh,
there.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So is that general consensus that we like the idea, but this is kind of a surprise, and we want to see how it goes first for next season? Or what do you think? I mean,
I don't want to speak up again, but don't put the money in, don't go get money from the budget for this.
Right.
But
But how do you, and even then, where does it fit in with the longer term plans? I'm just hesitant about asking all these businesses for money without a long term plan for lights, because it's just kind of something that came up, like, oh, we should have lights, so I just want to make sure.
Could we have a response to Coach Daly and share with him our discussion and the
Yeah.
consensus is basically that we'd rather go with a contractual offer than purchasing what he's proposing at this time.
Right now, yeah. And like, if it's great and it's amazing and like we can figure out a way to buy our own and that isn't a problem, then great. If it's better contractually,
And then
cheaper.
let him decide if he still wants to do fundraising
Yeah.
with the game changing to.
I mean, if you end up, that's a great idea, because you end up at some point down the line, if say, you wanna move football field
Yeah.
stands back, and you wanna put a track around the thing,
Mhm.
and you wanna put lights there, you're better off, because my dad used to work at power company, and, the guy that retired, Woodard's father worked with my father, they put those light towers in, the power company did, for nothing, and they raised the money for the towers for Lebanon High School's football field.
You mean like the actual utility poles?
Regular, regular utility poles that take care of the lights. The only problem was they didn't push to do the same thing, because all they needed was 2 more towers for the baseball field at Lebanon. They would have been all set. And they were gonna do that with the Nighthawks were coming in, but
That's right.
they didn't do it. So they actually need, for baseball, you need 6, because but 2 of the towers at Lebanon are sitting right there, going that way towards the football field. And all they need was 2 more over here.
So if you position them right, you can get multiple fields with the same lights.
Yeah, so you start off with a temporary light system and see how everything goes, and you pick and choose what you want to do for games.
Mhm.
Because you might not want to do it for every night game, because it's going to tax a lot of people.
Yeah, you may not want to do it for every football.
Yeah, well, it turns into a lot of things. And then if it works out, because you do it in the fall, then you've got time to try to see what's long-range plan for that field down there. And you already got it set up so the lights, you got lights on the ground, electrical on the ground.
Yeah.
So you can deal with that.
Yeah.
So that way we're not picking and choosing, well, we need a scoreboard here, we need a scoreboard here. Well, if you're gonna do some changing down there, long range,
Yeah.
then we could see what we can come up with. Because I know you can probably get the power company, the telephone companies to help out if you ever want to put towers in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just hesitant to ask the community for this much money when we may be doing something, we may want to talk about a track or other athletic facilities, and incorporate this into those
the whole
plans.
thing.
Yeah.
Kristen, how do they move these lights? Do they hook to a truck hitch?
They actually,
Some do.
they come in, they take care of it all.
But I'm just worried if we bought them, how do we move them?
Yeah.
With a
If we
flag
bought
on
them,
it.
the tractor,
Yeah.
it's like a trailer hitch. It's like
It's
a
a
regular,
hitch on the back of
it's
a
like
truck.
a trailer hitch,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, you'd have to drive a truck around with them and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Now, we don't want to buy them right now.
Yeah.
We want, well,
I mean, if he wants to try for a baseball game this spring, there's plenty of time between now and then. We could try a spring weekend
yeah, well.
if they wanted to. I don't know.
You can try it, but I'm not gonna be umpire that night, because it's doggone cold in the spring.
I meant May, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a great
Closer to May.
idea.
I don't know if lights and bugs.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Not really, it's not bad. We were supposed to
Maybe
get,
they come with zappers.
the softball team was supposed to play up to Canaan.
Yeah.
Remember years ago?
Oh, yeah.
I'll get passed, and all of a sudden that just disappeared.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be able to let the girls softball team play in that field on the other side of the infield, on the other side of Canaan Elementary School.
Well, maybe we
All right.
could revisit that.
And well, I think we could
Is it?
visit that. We also could probably get them to play on the field right there by the
Oh, at Enfield there?
no, the
Oh.
one right there at the
Williams.
post office.
Williams Field there.
Williamsfield.
Yeah, I don't know how they would rank for, like, I don't know how the turf is on those and stuff like that.
It's a dirt. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
dirt infield.
Oh, dirt, okay.
Grass is
It's
fine.
pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, they've gone and practiced there.
Not that that's related to this discussion,
Yeah.
but it brought up a second thing. The town of Canaan is responsible for that field behind Canaan Elementary, right?
Correct.
Are they gonna take care of that dugout that
I
blew
don't know,
over?
it's all crashed.
All right,
But yeah, we'll remind
all
them
right,
that
thank you.
we'll remind them.
Yeah, we should go back and look at the records for that, because our school was supposed to have access to that.
I thought we still had access to it, but like the problem was that when we did the renovation, the problem was that girls softball, we were trucking them over to Shaker Field in Enfield, and that was a big problem actually. That was difficult for them. If I remember,
They went to Canaan, they're supposed to be able to play on
Canaan
that.
would have been better, but
That's what they're supposed to do. That's why they moved the softball field from the racetrack to Canaan. And we went through the town. You go back in the records we had in this board, and the town administrator and everybody that's in Canaan, and that's when Gertie was still alive. We made sure that was part of the deal. That's why we didn't want to let them build that land over there.
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, no, we can certainly, yeah, we can certainly,
I
we
mean,
should
I
be
know I'm
able to
bringing a
use
lot of
those
stuff
fields.
up, but that's a lot
No,
of
it's
history
good.
that we,
It's good.
Good to know.
You craving this meeting so badly that you had to come in for this?
I thought I'd stop by.
Thank you.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Did you get kicked out of school already?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I go to River Valley.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. How you like it?
It's pretty good. I'm there for social services. So
Cool.
like in the end I want to be like an activities director in a nursing home. So
All right.
I'm on that
that's
path.
a good fit.
so
yeah.
our student rep's not here, so you can.
She had to be here, yeah.
You can fill in.
Volleyball, let's see. The volleyball team,
How'd the
they
JV
won
do?
one game.
How'd JV do?
They lost.
They lost the second round. Okay.
Yeah, but it was like closer.
It was closer.
Varsity just started. When
Okay.
I left, they still had like the 6 minutes. I had to announce
All right.
because Mr. Stebbins wasn't there to announce, and we're not letting the students announce
That's
apparently.
good.
And I'm the interim manager for home.
That's good.
So
Good job.
We missed you,
all
we missed
right.
you, okay? You did-
I
you
guess.
know.
yeah, no,
Good
but
work.
I'm almost done with I did my first year at SUNY Portland, and then I came home. 6 hours is far.
Yes,
It's far.
hard.
Well, it has been a year.
And then I transferred this fall to River Valley. And so after this, I'll get my associates and I think like a certificate in social services. And then from there, I don't really know where I'm going to go.
Onward and upward.
Well, if you want to substitute, come fill out an application.
Yes, please. At the you
Yeah.
substitute in elementary
Seriously.
school, yeah, for real.
Okay.
Send me your
It's
app.
good money.
I'll come visit you.
Okay.
It's good for us.
You have to get approved by the board.
That's tomorrow.
Good. I think I have an end with the board though.
I think you do.
Thank you, Joe, a little
I think
bit.
you do. I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right, back
we'll-
to these lights things.
All right.
It's
So
good to
so
see you all.
Is
Yeah,
that
it's,
good with our? We can write a letter back to the coach and be like, we love this idea, but put a pin in it and let's see, try it temporarily. for
Rob's
the
all
season?
over that.
On it.
Okay.
All right, that, okay. I don't
If you want to try it, you want to spring for one game.
It's up, yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's up to them. If they want to
Yeah.
try for a
Right.
spring game in May,
You
whatever,
gotta
great.
have
If
enough
not,
time, you gotta have enough time going on with
Yeah.
baseball and softball right
Yeah.
now. You don't want to
I,
add any more to that.
I would just go ahead and book next year's homecoming right now with lights and just set it up and do it, because I think it can be fun. I think it'll be a very fun carnival-like atmosphere. We can have a lot of people,
Yeah.
school groups selling concessions and all sorts of stuff, so. Anyway,
All right.
anything else, Rob?
No,
I think that was
just have
it.
your
All right.
financials as well.
Yep, financials in there, okay. Next on new business, we have Dorchester School Board candidate appointment. She said she was gonna try and be here today, and we
She
do
did.
have an email from her.
I emailed her and asked if she was going to make it, and she said, sadly, I have to decline. Something has come up this evening, and it is not fair for you all. So I've asked her if she's still interested in the position. So hopefully she is, because
Okay.
we would love to have her.
Yes.
But I will find that out when she responds to me. If she is still interested, we'll see if she can come next meeting,
Yes.
because I did ask her if she could come next meeting.
I think everybody wants to meet her at least,
Yes.
and we don't want to just appoint someone having never met them.
Yeah, and so hopefully she's still interested in
Alright,
the
so we'll
position.
table that for next time. October 1st enrollments, did you have any information on that, or is it just informational?
Are they included here?
What's
Yeah,
it
right
say
here.
on the
Good,
agenda?
yeah, there they are.
New
One
business.
extra piece of paper.
One more piece of paper.
Yeah.
So you can see if you do flip it over, I believe we are up from last year. Where's my overall district enrollment? Down here on the bottom. So 21, 22, we're up by 11 students. It's pretty nice.
It's not recruiting.
So Rob has been in contact with the NESDEC, and they will be doing an overall enrollment projection for us as asked for in the budget committee. So he is on top of that. So yeah, there are your numbers. If you do look at your CES numbers, you're seeing some pretty steady between 35 and 40 for enrollment, same at EVS. So those big bubbles of kids, like for instance, our current 9th graders,
Yeah,
those 107s are gone.
yeah,
Our current 8th graders are at 88, then it dips down to about 35 or less in a class for 7th grade, and in 6th grade, you're looking at one anomaly there, where you've got 89 kids. So as soon as those 6th graders head up to the high school, we really start to see a decline, or not a decline, it is a decline, but then it's a steady hold in enrollment as the numbers go.
It's moving to a different level.
It is,
Yeah.
it is. And, when we start to look at teaching positions at both CES and EVS, we're steady at about 2 teachers per grade level, so 2 classes per grade level, with sort of a floater teacher in there. So if you wanted to do a combined second, third, you could do a multi-age classroom. Or if you've decided that those kindergartners, 41 is quite a few, if you only had 2 classes, then we run with that extra teacher teaching a 3rd kindergarten level. Really starting to look at the numbers at IRS, right? You're really starting to look like, if we're talking a steady 2 classes for each grade level at the elementary school, we're really looking at 2 classes per grade level, which would be 4 classes rather at IRS for grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? 2 from EVS and 2 from CES would give us 4, with the exception of your 6th grade, your current 6th grade, and your current 8th grade, looking at 5. So as enrollments start to level out, we're starting to look at a reduction through attrition. So retirements would be where we would hope to find it. If not, we would be looking at some reduction in force. And as those numbers increase up or head up to the high school, looking at what does it look like when our high school classes start to get really low, starting to look at saturation studies. Again, Nancy had run one of those 5 years ago of comparing class sizes to teaching staff, and whether or not it's now more beneficial to run a class through VLAX or to have that teacher there. So starting to really look at, is it worthwhile? This is a very low number, say if there were 4 kids in a class, would it be better off for us to run that class through VLAX, which has been a great experience for most of our kids, or is it better off for us to keep that teacher or class available, or that teacher maybe could teach a different class section or something else?
And then also with VLAX, you can have 2 classes going at once in the same room.
Absolutely.
Or 3 classes, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Doing the quick math on kids who are in grade 1 through 4 right now, when those 4 grades get to the middle school, that will drop the middle school's IRS's enrollment below 300, more like 285-ish.
Yeah.
So that'll be a first year that you really see that. It might be before that, really, after that grade 6 comes out. But yeah, as we see, because right now there are some grades that have 5 teachers, some have 4, but they all have 5 still at IRS.
I'm hoping to, I think we heard at the budget meeting that there were potentially some apartment buildings going into Enfield.
Yes.
So we may start to see, if that happens and they bring in some families, we may start to see that flip, right? Where 7 years ago Canaan had the higher enrollment, Enfield was steady enrollment. We might start to see now Enfield at the higher enrollment and Canaan just at the steady enrollment. So.
And the capacity for that school is over 300, so it can hold much.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, good. Any other questions for Amanda on that October 1st enrollment numbers? Okay. SB2 Timeline for 2023. You have in your packet. I don't think we need to do anything on this.
You don't need to
This
do
was just
anything.
informational.
Just look at it. Yeah, this is informational.
So you've all received the calendar. You all know that deliberative session is on Saturday, February 4th. And we have all of our deadlines for public hearings and such like that. So that is there. That's handy, thank you. Bids, propane. So now we can go back to our propane bid. So I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to pick a propane company.
I'll make the motion. We take the urban bid.
Okay.
Are they gonna give it to us tomorrow since it expired?
I'll second.
Okay, Kathleen second. Good question. Are they going to give it to us tomorrow?
It expired
No,
this
because
afternoon.
I'm going back to the office right after this to
Lock it?
upload.
All right, yeah, that meant 12 midnight, not 12 noon, right?
Right.
12, okay, good. Perfect. I love
Because
it.
it should be A.
Hey, Throw in that.
Expires at 23:5900. That's what it is. All right. Cool. Any discussion on that?
It was Brewster made.
Brewster made the motion and
I second.
Kathleen seconded.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry.
call him up on the phone right now.
He's
No,
gonna
he's
go lock
gotta
it
do
in.
it in writing.
I'd
He's
call
gonna
him.
lock it in, and I love it.
Huh?
He's got to lock it in and online, so
Oh.
get over there and do that. All right, thank you for catching that last time, Brewster. And without further ado, all those in favor of awarding the contract to Irving Energy, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right, there we go. We're opting to allow that in tonight. Next, we have for second reading policy IHBB, programs for gifted and talented students, second reading. I entertain a motion on that.
I make a motion to accept policy IHBB.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Brewster second. All right, any discussion on this? This is just a second reading of the same policy from last time. Just a brief little update. It adds the part about submitting to the DOE the narrative report. So, all right.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor of approving for second reading and adoption of policy IHBB, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right. Agenda items for next meeting.
We get a blue, you guys get the blue ribbon on Enfield, right?
Sure did.
So we get another one of those little blue things?
Yes, you're getting a pin.
Get a pen?
I haven't given them out yet.
No.
I'm
We
waiting.
gave you yours.
Can we put on our webpage like 2 blue ribbons saying that we have 2 blue ribbon elementary schools maybe?
The Canaan Elementary, it's only good for 5
Oh, I
years, so
can't
they're
say that.
expired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we can put it on there for Enfield.
It's there.
Oh, good. I just hadn't checked. I
It's
was
the
like,
next day.
very nice. Very
Good
nice.
job.
All right. Have they done any news articles about this? Have we had any news?
Yeah, it was.
Well, I can't keep track of it.
It's in the paper.
Okay,
It's
good.
in the paper, when anxious, you and everything.
Good.
It was a very nice article.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I missed it. Then.
And the sign out in front of the school is good too.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. So I just want to make sure they get their props. So
Yeah.
next time we have committee reports, delegate assembly update from Hope. That'll be handy. That'll be good. PD newsletter. Couple policies, I'm sure. Hopefully Dorchester School Board. Yeah. All right. Public comment? Anything else? And we have personnel as Amanda handed out
Yeah.
earlier. All right.
So are we ready to go into No.
We can do these
Just
first.
do
So these are green, these are typically the green
Yeah.
sheet.
Yep. Nominations.
So yeah, so I'll entertain the nominations here as presented.
I'll make a motion that we accept the nominations as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Here's your second. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the nominations and accepting the resignations as presented?
Resignations or she said nominations.
She said
That's
no.
right.
Okay,
And
nominations.
It should include, I'll amend it to include nominations and resignations.
Wonderful,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
That good, Brewster?
Mhm.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the nominations and resignations as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Abstentions. All right.
You should have something else coming up. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, we have more. So we have non-public for personnel.
Yeah, I know.
All right, then I'll take a motion to go to non-public.
Make a motion to go non-public
And I'll second.
based on that 91,
Based on
all that dash, whatever.
all that jazz? All
Yeah.
right, Brewster,
Yes.
Tim, yes, Kathleen,
Yes.
Hope,
Yes.
and Candace.
Yes.
All right, we are in non-public. Thank you, sir.